When he had said these things, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." Hi, friends. This is Pastor Joshua Miller from Jehovah Lutheran Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Has anyone ever given you a spoiler of a book or a movie? You know what I mean. Sometimes in reviews you even see this where it says, "Spoiler alert. Don't read if you haven't seen the movie yet or read the book yet." And in this spoiler, the person will tell you what's going to happen in the story. I remember when I was a little kid, well, not that little, I was about 11 years old, I was reading The Lord of the Rings for the first time. And as I sat in a church office reading the book, the first book, The Fellowship of the Rings, my pastor walked by, he saw what I was reading, and he told me how the final book ended. In case you haven't read that, I won't tell you how that ends. But friends, here in his gospel, St. John gives us a spoiler of what's going to happen with Jesus. Pretty soon we're going to be in Holy Week, and we all know how that goes. We'll see the story of how Jesus is arrested, how he is tried, first by Caiaphas and then by Pilate, and how he's put to death on the cross. But you know what? Even before that starts to happen, here in John 11, the gospel for this Sunday, John gives us a spoiler of what's going to happen with Jesus. John spoils it for us and gives us the spoiler that Jesus is going to be raised from the dead. And we see that in the story of Lazarus. Jesus comes to Bethany where his friend Lazarus has died, and he raises him from the dead. And there are all kinds of aspects to the story that parallel what is coming with the resurrection of Jesus. For instance, in chapter 11, verse 39, Jesus says to take the stone away from in front of the tomb. That sounds really suspicious. It sounds a lot like what's coming with the stone being rolled away from the tomb of Jesus. And Lazarus comes forth. And in the middle of this whole story, we have Jesus' words to the sister of Lazarus, "I am the resurrection and the life." John spoils it for us. He lets us know that Jesus is going to rise from the dead. But this is the best spoiler of all time. Because you know what, friends? Jesus' resurrection from the dead is itself a spoiler. It's the spoiler of what's going to happen with you and with me. Because Jesus is going to raise us from the dead too. His resurrection is only the first of many. And all of us who have been baptized into Jesus' death are also going to be raised to new life with him. He says, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though they die, yet shall they live." And that's true. That promise is true for you, is true for me. And we get the spoiler of what's going to happen about that in the resurrection of our Lord Jesus. It's almost Easter. God be with you.